Thanks for the thanks for the opportunity, Nasabiadu and Angel Nasi. Okay, so we're talking about Ireland very quickly, and I
Can talk.
started why Ireland. A lot of people have asked me that question, and I was like, okay, I think we need to do something about this. And thanks for the opportunity once again. Okay,
Well,
so
you help us.
let's go into it. Ireland, as everyone knows, is, is a small country. It's not a big country. I don't know if the population is even up to half of that of Lagos State. Because as at now, the population, when I first came in, there were 4 point something million. But now the population is about 5 million or thereabout. And to them, it's a big deal. Oh my God, since 1851, Ireland is just um, hitting 5 million. So to them, it's a big deal. But to people like us coming from Africa, it's even small compared to the kind of population we're having. So it's still a small country. But the country, in so many ways, has made a great impact. And I see Ireland as the proverbial small but mighty. Like you might see it as a small country, but the kind of things going on in the country, the kind of impact the country is making, is kind of overwhelming. And sometimes, if you don't know about it and you're just hearing for the first time, you'll be like, wow. But if you don't know about it and you're saying, oh, I'm going to Ireland, people will ask you why Ireland. So that is something about Ireland. So moving on, I'm trying to move to the next slide, but okay. So Ireland at a glance, um, it's Ireland for everyone, but it has an Irish name which is Eire. Capital is Dublin, as I mentioned earlier. The population is about 5 million. Now they have two official languages, English and Irish. So we have the English speaking population and the Irish speaking population. But the English speaking population is more than that of the Irish speaking population, but it's Irish. And the head of government is called the Taoiseach. The Taoiseach is just like the prime minister, and they still have the president also. They spend euro. Their currency is euro, and the color of their flag is green, white, and orange. The emblem is actually two, harp and shamrock. This picture you're seeing is that of the shamrock. And the national day is 17th of March, just like we have 1st of October. There's the 17th of March, which is St. Patrick's Day. St. Patrick is Ireland's hero, was the one who brought Christianity into Ireland, and he did a lot of things. Though from the Christian aspect of it, some people believe the reason why there are no snakes in Ireland is because St. Patrick prayed and banished snakes from Ireland. While other people, scientists said no, it's not because of that, it's because Ireland climate, snakes cannot actually survive in the kind of climate that Ireland has. Whichever case it is, St. Patrick is a national hero, and the national day is St. Patrick's Day, 17th of March every year. It is a country on its own, because a lot of people believe, oh, Ireland is part of Ireland is a country on its own, though there is Northern Ireland which is part of it. But Ireland itself is a country on its own, and the capital is Dublin. It's also called, sometimes they call it the Emerald Isle. And the reason why they call Ireland the Emerald Isle is because Ireland is um, green fields. The scenery is greenish. Like they don't joke with agriculture. So everywhere the, the environment is more of natural environment. You see everywhere green with natural things that will make you feel nature. So that is why they call it the Emerald Isle. And this picture you're seeing is another emblem of Ireland, which is harp. Ireland is the only country that has a musical instrument as its national emblem, which is the harp, which we're seeing now. Now, there are some things you probably don't know about Ireland, which I would like to tell us. And for those of us who know, maybe if we're hearing it from somebody who is here, maybe you bring it closer, to bring it closer to you. Like Ireland is safe and welcoming. Ireland is a very welcoming place. They love people from other countries. The rate of racism in Ireland is very, very low. The, when I
Really?
mean very, very low, I mean very, very low. Because when I came in, so it's not so long, I discovered firsthand that they actually love seeing people from other nationalities. Like I was going out with a friend of mine, and we were just behaving like BDC, trying to cross and all. Some of them would just approach you, like, "Hello, where are you going?" Like they will start asking us questions just to know whether we know actually where we are going. And when we approach them, we are, "Oh, this is where we are going." They want to make sure that you get it, just like an average Ibadan man in Nigeria. Like, okay, Nigerians do it when you ask, except if they don't know. But for an average Nigerian, if you're asking for a place, they'll tell you, okay, turn left. When you get to the left, turn right. And sometimes you'll even be confused. But they are like that. So they'll actually want to get it. And then they'll tell you, okay, when you move forward, you can still ask again. So they are like that. They love asking. They want to learn from other people too. In the process of trying to get navigate my way with a friend, we even met a man. He said, "Oh, where are you people from?" Then Nigeria. I said, "Oh, Nigeria. I've been there before. I had two. I was in Lagos. I was in the news." I was like, "Oh, you had two in Nigeria." They are just like that. And talking about being safe, Ireland is one of the safest countries in the world, top 15 according to Global Peace Index of 2020. And it's not just something that was formulated. Actually, a survey, kind of study that was carried out, and they discovered that Ireland is actually safe. And for those of us here, we know that Ireland is safe. They are very friendly. There are about 645,500 non-Irish nationals currently resident in Ireland as of April of 2021. That means 1 in 8 of the total population are non-Irish. That's 12.9%. And for those of us who are blacks, our population is also still very low. The population of blacks in the Irish population is about 1.42%. So the population is actually very low compared to other countries. And maybe it's one of the reasons why they really love to see people from other places, because they are not so many. I know when something is not so common, it tends to be valued sort of. So we are not so many, but there are blacks here too. Then another thing about Ireland is the economy is very dynamic. The economy is very robust. Ireland is one of those countries, um, the best economy in Europe, in the world. The economy is very good, and the reasons for that do not be far-fetched, because Ireland's economy, unlike some other big countries that we know, it's not based on only tax. Most of those big countries, their economy is based on tax, it's centered around tax and some other. For Ireland, the economy is centered around agriculture. They do a lot of farming, a lot of forestry, and also, and you know that any economy that is centered around agriculture, that is wired around agriculture, can never go broke. Agriculture, forget about crude oil. There are some countries with crude oil, but the thing is, crude oil has even spoiled the economy of so many countries. I don't want to be discrediting any country, but we all know that some countries, since they discovered crude oil, they abandoned agriculture and it has crumbled the economy. But Ireland, they just leverage on the, that agriculture aspect of the country, farming, and it's something that is really making the economy boom. They produce livestock, they produce a lot of crops. In fact, today in Ireland, if you want to be taking fresh things from the farm every day, like something plucked from the farm every day, you can actually be taking just order for it or go to any of the stores.
Sorry, Bukola. Sorry, Bukola, I'm cutting you. I'm so sorry
Yeah,
about that.
yeah.
But it seems like we can hear you, but it's not clear. It's not that the network is poor, but your volume is low.
My God.
So we are like gluing to the screen to actually like listen to you. And it's not just me, everyone.
Okay, can I just use my phone now to see whether
Log in. You know what you do?
yeah,
Log in with your phone,
okay.
then mute your laptop. Then
Oh,
you talk with your phone.
okay.
Sorry, guys, we're just trying to make the volume more clear. So she will join with her phone, and then let's see how the volume look like. That let's see how the volume is.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, Mute your laptop. Mute your laptop. Yeah. Talk now. Talk. Let's hear.
I'm still hearing. I've muted my laptop.
Also need to put off one of the speakers.
Sorry, Martin. She said.
I said she also needs to put off one of the speakers.
Yeah. She muted her laptop.
Yeah, but the sound is still coming from that's the speaker of the laptop.
I already exited from the laptop. I already exited from the laptop. So
No,
for that, Ireland's economy is not wired around tax systems, the tax system rather, like some other countries. Ireland's economy is actually wired around agriculture. And we know that any economy that is hinged on agriculture can never go broke. Though there is this crude oil boom in other countries, but we've discovered that crude oil has actually spoiled the economy of so many countries, because once the crude oil is discovered, they just abandon agriculture. So Ireland doesn't joke with agriculture, and that is why everywhere is grain. There was a time before I came in, I was in a Zoom meeting like this, and they asked a lady who just came in that, how is that Ireland? We heard Ireland is beautiful. She said everywhere is just green, green, green. I was laughing. I didn't know what she was saying until when I came in. I was like, oh, really? Everywhere is just, and that is why Ireland got the nickname Emerald Isle, because it's just green and beautiful. So they produce livestock, they do food crops production, they're into fishery, forestry, and a lot of things. And that is why even today in Ireland, if you want to be taking fresh things, for those of us who don't like all those chemical things, you just want fresh things, you can be getting it every day. Even when you enter the stores, you find organic things. If you really want to get, like, some days ago, I went to the store and I saw eggs. I saw organic egg. I went for the organic egg because I know that is the one coming directly from the end. There are other ones, the chemical ones. So if you want fresh fruits and everything, they produce their food, and they are really proud of it. So they are wired around agriculture and tech. They are into a lot of technology also, and then the tax and the rest. But the first thing that is making the economy boom is actually agriculture, because they do it on a large scale and they produce their food. Then coming to the weather, Ireland's weather is very beautiful. They have 4 seasons as it is in other countries: spring, summer, autumn, and winter. And one thing about Ireland is the weather can be very unpredictable. In one day, you can experience the fall. I mean, within minutes, you can experience spring, experience summer, experience autumn, experience winter. That is why sometimes when they want to insult somebody, they'll say he is so unpredictable, or she's so unpredictable, like Ireland's weather, because you can't predict it. So when you're going out, you need to like prepare yourself, have your umbrella, have your raincoat or something, extra clothes, or just because the weather can just change at any time. But the weather is still it's very, very beautiful. Now it's winter. So for those of us coming from Africa, it's still going to be somehow strange, but after some time you get used to it. Then talking about the tax system is almost similar to other countries. It's not is near similar. The current tax rate is 20% for any income that is below or equal to 36,033 euros. That means if your income is below 36,000 or 36,033 euros, it will be taxed at 20%. Then any income above 36,033 euros is taxed at 40%. That is how the tax works. Then coming to education, education is free for primary and secondary school children, irrespective of your status. Even if you're a refugee, asylum seeker, you're just coming into Ireland today, and you are with, and your children are with you, even if they are not citizens, education is free for all of them. Then for the university, for Irish citizen or EU citizens, university education is very, very cheap. For instance, when Irish citizens are paying 3,000 euros per annum, non-EU citizens, like people coming from other countries, can be paying up to 18,000, 19,000, or even over 20,000 euros per annum. So it's very, very cheap. And for those whose parents are earning less than, I think, 26,000 euros, it's free for them too. University education is free for them. Then for those whose parents are paying mortgage, is also very reduced. So the education system is very good and is of quality. Then talking about social life, a lot of people have talked about social life that, oh, Ireland is boring and all. It depends on how you want to view it. They have their own way of life, and we cannot say, oh, from the beginning they have been boring people. They are not boring people. They actually, when I got in here, I discovered that they actually have their own way of life, the way they enjoy things. They are also into music, though their music is different from ours. Dance, theater, art. They have cinemas. For those of us who love to go to cinemas, they are into sports, art exhibitions and all. Then they don't joke with pub life. All these beer parlors, they don't joke with it. In fact, Ireland is the home of Guinness. So they drink, like, for anybody. I just said it jokingly to someone that if you want to stop drinking, please don't come to Ireland, because when you come into Ireland, you'll be tempted to want to drink more, because it's just, they drink like it's water. Like it's water. They every evening. This picture is just an example of the kind of life they live. Even early in the mornings, you see some of them already in a pub drinking. Club life, they have their club life too and all. So they have the way they keep themselves happy and they keep their lives going. So for those of us coming in, it might be quite strange, but after some time, by the time you see the way they live, you then blend in. So it's not as if Ireland is boring the way people used to say it. It actually depends on you and how you want to live your life. Then bank holidays, they have bank holidays. Bank holidays is just what we know as public holidays. And bank holidays are simply days that banks don't work, banks don't open. So currently in Ireland, there are 9 bank holidays. The reason why I put bank holidays is because for those of us who are coming in as nurses, if you work on bank holidays, let's assume your rota, on your rota, you are working on bank, is double pay for you on that day, just as when you're working on Sunday. So people always look forward to bank holidays. Like I've worked bank holiday before and I was happy when I got that. I worked on that day. So they have 9 bank holidays at present, and they are proposing to add one more next year, St. Bridget's Day, 1st of February. Is still on the pipeline. Actually, they are proposing to add it to like thank we frontline workers for our efforts during the COVID pandemic. So they are proposing, it's still on the pipeline. Probably by the end of this year or early next year, we'll know whether they're adding St. Bridget's Day to the bank holidays or not. So these are the present bank holidays for this year. These are the bank holidays. So if you look at it, you discover that the country is a business country. Like they are not into, oh, today you have public holiday, tomorrow you have a public. They have their public holidays and they don't go beyond it. St. Patrick's Day is the gang of everything, because that is the national day, which is 17th of March. Then there are other bank holidays, Christmas, and then Boxing Day, which is St. Stephen's Day. And one thing is, Ireland is majorly a Catholic country. They are like over 90% of the population, they are Catholics. For me, since I came in, if you ask them, most of the patients I've interacted with, what's your religion? Because it's part of the data. Is sometimes I don't even ask. I'll just write it RC, Roman Catholic, because I know they are mostly Catholic. So most of the things they celebrate is Saint this, Saint that. They don't have time for all those other things that some other countries do. Then talking about Ireland again, you know, when I started, I said Ireland is just like the proverbial small but mighty. When I first heard that Ireland's passport is one of the powerful passports of the world, I was like, are you sure of what you're saying? But later I discovered that really it is true. Then the person who told me, and let me not even code it, is my father that told me when I was processing Ireland, when I was having some issues and I was telling him, I said, that's how they are. They don't just give out their passport and they don't just give out their visa because it's more powerful than even in Asa saying even US, UK. I said, daddy. He said, yes, because he has been here. He came here in 2019 as a pastor to minister. And because of him, the program he came to do in that year was shifted. The date was shifted twice because Ireland embassy no agree giving visa. And they were telling him that contact your church, the church you are coming to in Ireland, they should shift the program because we are not ready to give you the visa. So that is to show you, because they value what they have and they don't just give it, they don't just throw it at anybody. So as at present, this is the ranking for the world most powerful visa passports, and Ireland is number 5 in the same position with France, Ireland, France, Netherlands, Portugal, and Sweden. Which means if you own an Irish passport, you can enter 187 countries without visa. Then moving on to why you should come to Ireland. I'm not actually marketing Ireland. I'm just trying to enlighten many of us that may not know. Some of us may know, but many of us may not know, because a lot of people they've been tilted towards particular countries like this, and that. So it's just like a way of enlightenment. so that you can know that actually some countries are not loud. They are not so loud, but what they carry, they are loaded. What they carry, until you explore it, that is when you know that, oh, so this is actually what is going on here. So Ireland needs nurses, in fact, healthcare workers right now. The demand for healthcare workers is very, very high right now. So much so that when I was discussing with NGO, Nosabiodun, I told him that the agency I came in through, they sent us mail when they told us that we should refer people, we should send their mail, we should recommend them to people. Nobody answered them. They had to send another mail to tell us that, please now, if you refer us, we'll pay you so and so amount of money. If the person comes in and pass the exam, then we'll pay you. So maybe they're thinking if they use that, the people will want to like tell other people about it. So that is to show you how demanding they. In fact, they sent us a list. After some time, they sent us, I have it in my mail, a list of the various hospitals, the kind of nurses they need, staff nurses, midwives, psychiatry nurses, the various specialties, and they also need general nurse. So they sent it to us that in case we have people who have their DL, we should let them know about the agency that they can assist. So the demand is very high. They also need healthcare assistants, but the only thing is they don't recruit healthcare assistants from Nigeria. Healthcare assistants, most people is people that are already here that usually get healthcare assistant job easily, because they don't want to spend money bringing people from other countries when people can actually do it. So most students, those who are schooling here, many of them do healthcare assistant job, and the pay is also very good. Some people, the spouses of some nurses, because most of the healthcare assistants I've interacted with in my place of work, many of them are actually spouses of nurses. Their wives are nurses, they are males. The people I've interacted with, they are males. Their wives are nurses, and when their wives came in, and they came in also, the first job they could lay their hand upon was healthcare assistant job, and that is what many of them are still doing up to today. Some of them in the process, some of them are nurses, but because they are not registered yet as Irish nurses, they can't work as Irish. They can't work as a nurse here, so they are working as healthcare assistants. And some of them in the process, they will just say, well, let me just be doing my healthcare assistant job, and some will still pursue their nursing career at the end of the day. So the demand is high. Then I've talked about the economy. The economy is booming. 2018 World Economic Forum ranked Ireland 8 out of 108 countries across 11 elements of economic progress. So all this is just to let you know that it's not just something that somebody just sat down somewhere and just formed up or just concocted. This is something, these are facts, things that are proven and things that have been studied on. Surveys have been carried out to arrive at all these. Now, the unemployment rate in Ireland is very, very low. To show you how good the economy is, the unemployment rate as at October was 7.9%. And even up to now, on Ireland's unemployment rate is less than 10%. So it means majority of the population are up and doing. Majority of the people here are working. So that's even in a way contributed to the less crime and violence that is in Ireland, because many people are working. A lot of people are busy. So if you are busy, you go to work, you come back to home. What time will you have to be thinking of violence or crime or something? So almost everyone in the population has something doing. NGO, you are not moving the slides. Oh. Hello. Hello. Can you hear me at all?
Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you.
We can hear
Yes,
you.
we can hear you. We can hear you.
You're not moving the slides. You're not moving the slides for the people to see. I'm only moving my own slides. You're not moving the slide. You are still with safe. You are still on save and welcoming when I've already moved on.
Yeah, I'm actually moving the slide. Guys, are you seeing the way I'm moving the slide? I'm actually following you and I'm moving the slide.
No, you're not following.
He's still on safe and welcoming over here.
Ah.
We're not seeing it. We're not seeing it.
Oh, I'm actually moving the slide. So the slide I'm moving is not what he's sharing. Oh God.
We've sent messages.
Now I see. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm so sorry. Oh, my bad.
So far.
Yeah. Do you know funny? I'm actually moving this. To me, I'm like,
do you know
you are the only one seeing the movement.
Yeah, I'm the only one. Yes. But can you see the way I'm moving the slide now?
Yes, we can see now.
NJO, can you just flip through the slides for them from save and welcoming, because I discovered I'm the only the slides.
Can I do what?
Flip through it from save and welcoming. Just be moving it one like that, one after the other
One
until you
after the other.
yeah, until you get to natural beauty, so that they can
I'm on natural beauty now, guys. Can you see
No.
natural beauty?
No, you go back to after safe
welcoming.
and
Oh yeah. So sort of like everybody sees it. Okay.
Yeah,
yes.
save and welcoming.
Thank you.
Okay, so just flip through it.
Oh yeah. Save and welcoming now.
So move it. I've talked about the economy, the weather, yeah, move it, the tax system, yeah, education. I've talked about the social life, yeah, bank holidays, I've talked about that. Okay, I've talked about world most powerful passport, why you should come to Ireland, growing economy, yeah. Yeah, stop here now. So you can now follow me from here.
Yeah. Is it okay if I share the slide to the participants on the Telegram group?
Okay, but maybe I'll have to edit out some part of it before
Right.
you yeah. Okay, so now coming to natural beauty, I've talked about that Ireland is naturally beautiful. For those of us who love beautiful things, I believe nobody loves anything ugly. So now talking about safety, Ireland is very safe. As I said earlier, the violence rate, the crime rate is very, very
Is it
low.
on safety now?
Yeah, I'm on safety now.
Okay. No, I mean the slide.
Yeah.
Yes, the slide is on safety now.
Is it on healthcare now?
Healthcare, yes, on healthcare now.
I just want to be
But
sure
you
now
still
if
have
I'm
to go back
moving.
to it's moving.
Yeah, it's on safety
Yes, it's
now. Okay,
moving.
yes. All right.
Yes.
Okay, so talking about safety, Ireland is very, very safe. In fact, you can walk in the night without looking back. So the crime rate is very, very low. And one of the things that contributed to that is, number one, people are gainfully employed. Just as I said earlier, under unemployment, that the unemployment rate is very, very low, less than 10%. So most people are working. That's number one. Number two, Ireland has strict weapon laws. It is illegal to have a weapon in Ireland. You can't be carrying gun around or have a gun in your house or something. It's very, very strict. So strict that some days back, someone came to visit me, Nigerian, actually called her to make my hair for me. And when she came, she was asking me if I had the scissors. I said, no, you're making hair, you should have scissors. She said, no, we are not allowed to carry weapon. I said, even scissors? She said, yes. Scissors is a weapon, so you are not allowed to carry it around. So it's so strict. So, and most times when people want to perpetrate any form of crime or violence, it's when you have the weapon, it's easier. But when you cannot even hold it around, if you are caught, it's an issue. So it's very illegal to carry weapon, any form of weapon around. So it's one of those things that has contributed to the less rates of crime and violence and everything. So Ireland is very safe. And that safety also has in a way impacted on family life, because anywhere, any environment that is safe, it's easier for you to raise your family in a safe place, in a place where there's violence, where the less violence rather, where the children will not be seeing some scenes that are not so good for them. So now I move to healthcare, NGO healthcare now. So healthcare in Ireland is accessible, and the public healthcare system is managed by the Health Service Executive. That's, they call it HSC, just like UK has NHS. The one for Ireland is the HSC. And for healthcare, for antenatal services, maternity services, like you are coming in, it doesn't matter whether you are coming, you came in. So far you're in Ireland,
to put fan for you there.
pregnant. Can you hear me? Are we on the same page?
Yes,
Fan.
yes, we can.
Okay, so if you're in Ireland, health and maternity services up to the age of 6 years is free, which means even if you come into Ireland today pregnant and you give birth to your child today, it is free. I have a colleague who came in with pregnancy. She just put to bed last month. Everything was free. And then for those of us who are men or who are not pregnant, when you come in, you are required to like register with a GP. When you register with a GP, you pay 70 euros to register with a GP, because a friend of mine has registered. So when you register with a GP, you have any issues, you go to the GP. Now, if the GP refers you to the hospital, public funded hospital, everything is free. Surgeries, procedures, and all. Then I called a colleague to really clarify about healthcare because I've not really accessed it fully, even though I've accessed part of it and I didn't pay a dime up till now. But I needed to be sure. He now told me he has spent over 4 years now. He told me that if you are, what about, I asked him about admission. If surgery is free, procedures and all is free, what about admission? He now said, if you are going to be admitted, for the first 10 days, you pay for the night. Then after the 10 days, then it's going to be free. Now, for some other people, there's subsidy, like there's a way they reduce it to make sure that it's not going to be killing for you. So healthcare is accessible and it's not so difficult. Like it's also affordable. So that is talking about healthcare. Now, this is the aspect a lot of us have been waiting for, the pay. NGO, please move it. Pay. Ireland is actually one of those top 10 countries with the highest paid nurses in the world. And this is the list. Luxembourg, Denmark, Canada, Virgin Islands, Australia, Switzerland, Norway, Ireland, Italy, and Dubai. These are the top 10 countries of the world paying nurses the biggest money. Let me use the Nigerian language. So if you are looking for pay, because I actually put those other benefits before pay so that it won't look as if, oh, it's because some of us are not actually traveling because of the money, though the money too is also part of it. Let's not deceive ourselves. But then I actually want us to see beyond the pay. That was why I told us other benefits ahead. So now talking about the pay, Ireland is one of the top 10 countries paying nurses, and that is the list. So how much does a registered nurse make in Ireland? Please, NGO, move the slide. The average salary range for a registered nurse in Ireland is between 19.02 NGO, okay, to 26.29 per hour. And one thing about pay in Ireland is that Ireland's pay is not fixed on, okay, when I'm coming in, this is what I'm earning. Your earning is actually based on your years of experience. Ireland puts your years of experience into consideration to pay you. So the higher your years of experience. So for those of us that have many years of experience in Nigeria, please don't waste it. Ireland will appreciate your years of experience and place you on that scale that you should be based on your years of experience. It means if you are 5 years of experience from Nigeria, another person is 10 years of experience, and you're coming in the same day, you're not going to be on the same level. 20 years. Some of us have up to 30 years of experience, and you are wasting it, struggling to go to countries that will not appreciate the number of years you have spent working in your country. Why? Why are you wasting it when there are countries that can actually place you on a level that is commensurate with what the kind of experience you're coming in with? Ireland will place you on that level. Verifiable experience in the sense that in the process, they will send you some documents, some forms that you need to take to your place of work for them to fill for you. If you can just take it to where you have, those places you have worked, all the places you have worked, provided you work there for at least 6 months. If you can take those forms there and they fill it for you, my brother, my sister, that is their own verification that you have really worked those years of experience you claimed you have worked, and they'll put you on that scale to pay you. That is why I said the pay is not specific, depending on your years of experience, and it also depends on your area of specialization. They also used to put that into consideration. Some people are coming in as not just general nurses. Some people are coming in as midwives. Some people are coming in as psychiatry nurses. Some people are coming in as public health nurses. So the pay is different. Then another thing again is, even if you are coming in as a registered general nurse, because everybody is coming in, most people, not everybody, most people are coming in as registered general nurses first before they now register as midwives or psychiatry nurses. Though some people prefer to just come in as midwives, they don't want to register as general nurses. They want to come in they just register as midwives directly. Some register as psychiatry nurses, but I don't know whether it's easier to do it that way, because those who tried it, it was very difficult for them. They prefer you to register as a general nurse first, then you now continue with the rest. So if you are working as a general nurse in an area of specialty, they will pay you for that too. For instance, NGO, we have not. For instance, if you are a general nurse and you are working in a geriatric setting,
or you are working in maybe a setting of intellectual disability, all those settings, you are working there as a general nurse, they will pay you some salary. They call it enhanced nurse. They will pay you as an enhanced nurse. They will pay you based on you are working in an area of specialty, though you are not registered in that area of specialty, but because you are attached to that setting, they will add something to your money for that. So I had to put up this. This is the current salary scale as of 1st of October 2021. And this is courtesy of Irish Nurses and Midwives Organization. For those of us coming in, the same way we have Nursing and Midwifery and National Association of Nigerian Nurses and Midwives, this is their own union, Irish Nurses. And so we're encouraged to join. Once you become registered as a nurse here, you can join the INMO. It has many advantages. So can you move it to this next slide? Because I actually zoomed in on staff nurse midwife. The other one has a lot of, but because many of us will be coming in first as staff nurses, registered general nurses. So I zoomed in on that. If you look at it, 1, 2, 3, the third, is it the third column now? Those of us that did mathematics very well. Is it the third column or the third row where you have staff nurse midwife? So that is the scale. If you have 1 year of experience, you are starting on 31,109 euros per annum. 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, just like that. That is how it is. Now, for some people that their years of experience has passed this scale, they used to increase salaries based on, they call it LSI, long service increments or something. So there's a way they still factor it in and still pay you. Your salary may pass the scale, like in Yoruba, they say just scale, because your years of experience has even. So for those people, sometimes what they do for them is after spending, they might pay them maybe on the last scale, the highest money. Then after a year or two, then they will now convert them to senior staff nurses or to clinical nurse manager, depending on how their performance. I have a colleague that came in. I came in ahead of her. She came in with 17 years of experience from UCH, and she's a theater nurse. But she has not registered as a peri-op nurse yet. She registered as a staff nurse first. So she's currently here, 17 years of experience. When she told me her salary, I opened mouth because it didn't pass this staff nurse scale. I said, but she's actually working with a private hospital, and the private hospital is a very big one. So her salary has passed this scale completely. So our salary will probably be maybe on the senior staff nurse scale for HSC. So that is to show you that your years of experience in Nigeria will not be a waste. Then, talking about either HSC or private hospital, some people might be thinking, should I work for HSC, private hospital? The truth is, when you are coming from Nigeria, I share the sentiments of Nurse Kelvin, because I watched that video on UK process. He said the first thing is come out first. When you now come out, you get to the country you are going to, you can now be doing okay, which one should I go for? The first thing is for you to just find a way to get out. Because when I had my decision letter, when I was looking for a job, I was not actually selective, whether HSC or a private hospital or nursing home or something. We have nursing home here too. So I just wanted anyone, but I was just fortunate enough to get a job with the HSC because it was actually a private hospital. They scheduled me for the interview, but HSC interview came ahead of that, and they called me that, can I prepare for an interview in less than 2 weeks? And I said, okay. So I did that of the HSC, and thank God I got it. So when you come in, when you are looking for a job, don't be selective. Get a place. After 2 years, no matter how they want to tie you down, after 2 years, you can move. This nurse I told you had 17 years of experience from Nigeria. She's working in a private hospital, and the salary has broken the scale. But she can only stay there 2 years. If you want to work for the HSC, then she can move. I even asked her, I said, are you going to move to the HSC? She said, who HSC help? That she wants the big money to continue. So she's not willing. Maybe later she might change her mind. So anyone you get from Nigeria, you won't regret it. And you will not be tied there forever. Maximum of 2 years, you can move to another place. Now, talking about having said all this, becoming an Irish nurse. How can you become an Irish nurse? Before I move into that, let me just chip it in again that for the many of us might be saying, this money now, some countries, when they tell you, when they give you the money, the big money, this is the salary, by the time they remove the tax and all, it's nothing will be left. For Ireland, by the time they remove the tax, I'm telling you, you still have something left. When I mean something tangible, because Ireland actually pays every 2 weeks. Ireland doesn't pay salary monthly. Like you'll be waiting till the end of the month. Ireland pays you every 2 weeks, and we get our salaries every Thursday in fortnightly, the Thursday of 2 weeks like that. You understand what I'm trying to say? So like salaries were paid last Thursday and today is Sunday. This is a new week. That means by next week we're expecting another salary. That is how Ireland is. So no matter how they want to, if you are getting your salary to 2 weeks, my brother and my sister, tell me how you will not have savings. Tell me how you will not be able to do good things. And plus the fact that since I came in, I don't know, maybe I'm sure it's not only me. When I started getting my pay, when I checked my pay slip, I'm still trying to understand how they tax it, that I'm still getting sometimes 100 euros, 200 euros, sometimes 400, 500 euros above my gross pay. Because those months, those times, within those 2 weeks period, sometimes I might work on a Sunday, bank holiday and something like that, or extra shift. So it's, though the tax is higher when you work extra or you work on bank holidays, but despite the fact that they said the tax is higher, I still have something tangible. So sometimes I don't know how they do that. Maybe for those of us that are really into statistics, if you look at it, you'll be able to calculate, okay, this is it. When they had other allowances and all, it will still boost the money up for you. So if you are, for instance, if you are getting an average of, let me just give example, 1,500 euros every 2 weeks, not every month. I don't know how you will not be able to do all the things you want to do. You'll be able to pay your house rent conveniently. You'll still be able to save. You'll still be able to, plus the fact that things are cheap. So it's good like that. So coming to becoming an Irish nurse, this is the requirements for the IELTS. Some people used to think, because they are not specific, that they want 7 in so. If I want to process maybe UK and I don't have, I'll now shift to Ireland as a second choice. Ireland is not a second choice. The way people used to think that is Ireland is not a second choice, because the process of Ireland is actually more rigorous than some other countries, and it's even longer. So it's not a second choice in any way. That is why when people come to me and ask me, because of my IELTS, I want to process, and I'll tell them, you better talk to yourself and be sure that you want Ireland. Because if you, because of IELTS, want to process Ireland, and you now start seeing the frustrating aspect of Ireland process, you start blaming yourself. It's better you put yourself together and go and rewrite the IELTS or do OET, so that you have what you want and go to the country of your choice. So, but if you know that you are very open, some of us are very open. We don't mind. We just want a place that is very good for us. We are not bent on a particular country. So if you are very open and you are sure you are open, then why not? Because I've spoken to some people and some of them will say, in that case, because when I tell them, they ask me, how long did your process take? I told them 1.5 years. They say, I cannot wait to. And that is how Ireland process is. It will take you, I've never seen anyone that processes it less than 1 year. It's always over. So if you know that you want it sharp, then don't think of it. But it is worth the journey. It is worth the effort. It is worth the challenge, because it will even make you stronger and you know what is actually going on in other places. So that is the IELTS requirements: 6.5 in any one component and 7 in other components, overall score of 7, and that is the one for the OET. So becoming an Irish nurse, it's actually straightforward. You log into my NMBI, they have the website. They just started this actually September last year. Before it was paper-based, you have to be sending things by courier, but they want to make things easier and faster. That is why they came up with this. So you just go to the log into my NMBI, you register, create your own account, then you fill in your personal details, you answer some questions. Those questions will put you into your class. They have G1, G2, and G3. Basically, G1 and G2 is usually for people who are EU citizens or those who trained within the EU. So G3, for those of us coming from Africa, we're in G3. By the time you answer all the questions, you know that you're in G3, because they will ask you whether you are trained in the EU or something. So we are in G3. So I'll talk based on G3 class. Then you submit a list of documents. There are some documents you have to submit. And for the process, please make sure that you have your documents notarized. Most of the documents they don't just want you to just send it, scan it. They want it notarized. You give it to a lawyer or a notary public. But I used to advise that give it to a notary public directly. A notary public is a special kind of lawyer. It's not all lawyers that are notary public. For those of us in this process, we know that a notary public is different from a lawyer. So for me, I gave my documents to a lawyer, but they actually told me that they wanted a notary public. But when I now told them that I saw it in the document that a notary public or a lawyer or so they now said, okay. But when I was sending the second set of documents, they told me notary public. So if you have a lawyer as a friend or a lawyer in your family or somebody, please, if you have not been calling them or talking to them, this is the time to be doing them LOI, because you will need them at this point. So you make sure your documents are notarized, then your transcript from your schools, all the schools you've been to, you submit the transcripts, the where you have worked, you upload the documents. Then once that is done, you pay a fee of 350 euros. That is the recognition fee. The process is in two phases, recognition and registration. So those ones you are starting from Nigeria is the recognition process. By the time you pay the 350 euros, then they will start updating your page. All the things you have submitted, they will be letting, you will start knowing the progress of your application. You'll be seeing the status of your application, where you need to submit further information, where you need further information, they will let you know. Then they will review all the documents. They will check whether it is valid, whether it is authentic, whether it is correct. They do a lot of checks. Ireland is very meticulous and thorough. They are just like, picture Ireland as that friend that even when you sweep the room and you are sure I've swept it, the room is clean, he will come inside, he or she will come inside, remove his leg from the slippers and now feel the floor and say, I'm still feeling small sand. That is their kind of process. Even when you feel you have submitted everything, they will still tell you this, that, this, explain that, explain this. But when they're asking you to explain, don't feel frustrated or don't feel, oh, what is going on? They just need the explanation. And once you give them that explanation and they are satisfied, they will move on. So that is it. So they'll do all the checks. They'll check everything to be sure that, okay, everything you sent is correct, is complete and all. Then after then, they will do administrative and qualification assessment. After they have checked that everything is correct, they do qualification assessments. During that time, they will check whether they will now compare your standard from your country, because I'm sure all of us, we are not all from, some of us are not all, we are not all from Nigeria. Some of us are not Nigerians. Some other countries too might actually watch this video, or they might also be part of this Zoom meeting. So they will check, they will compare your standard in Nigeria or in Ghana or in Cameroon. They will compare it with their own standard. They will now, it's just like you are weighing it. How many hours of clinical experience do you have in your med-surg in your country? How many hours? They will compare it with Ireland own. How many hours of medical surgical theory class did you have in your country? They will compare it. So, but most times, hours always fall short of their own. There is no how they do the assessment. The one from Africa will always fall short. That means their own standard is higher than ours. So that is when, by the time they do all that, they will now come up with a decision letter. So that decision letter is what they will now tell you. For those of us coming from Africa, what they usually tell us is compensation measure required. That means you need to do a compensation measure. And that compensation measure is, this thing is not up to our standard, but you need to do something to make it up to our standard, which is either adaptation or aptitude test. That is their exam. That is what Africans get. They have never given any Africa, oh yeah, you can register directly. It's mostly people from EU countries that is always the same. But for those of us from Africa, it's always short. So they will just tell you, they'll give you your decision letter. Now they used to refuse some people. They will refuse them. When they refuse them, they will tell them the basis on which they're refusing them. Maybe they found something false. That is why in the form, they will tell you that make sure you put all the correct things there, because they used to do a lot of checks. That is why I said, picture them like that friend in school. You will sweep the room, or the person will come back and see some feelings, and that is how, and they will do a lot of checks behind you that you will not know. So please, let's try. I used to tell people that are processing, and please be as straightforward as much as possible, because when they are doing those checks, you won't know. It's when they now finish, they now come up with a decision. That is where you know that, oh, they have actually done this, they have actually done that. So let's be straightforward. And even from the things we collect from the nursing council, after you have sent them the verification and all, because before nursing council sends it directly, but now you upload it, they will still send a mail to the nursing council, and they want nursing council of Nigeria to reply them directly. If they don't get that response from the nursing council, they will not progress with the application. So that is how they are. They want to be sure that everything you are giving them is coming from the right source. Even from your school, you will know, they can verify. this transcript, is it coming from your school? They can do it behind you. So please, let's try to be straightforward as much as possible in the process. Now, I just talked about after you have your decision letter. After passing through all these, they eventually give you your decision letter for either aptitude tests or adaptation. Now, for some people, they can decide whether they want adaptation or aptitude test. But the thing is, it depends on the hospital or the nursing home where you get the job. Some hospitals, they want you to do adaptation. That adaptation is 6 weeks. Sometimes they can extend it to 12 weeks. That adaptation is simply you working under a preceptor. The preceptor will be the one observing you and will be scoring you. At the end of the 6 weeks, the preceptor will now recommend you to the NMBI, that's the Nursing and Midwifery Board of Ireland, that, oh, okay, Chiamaka is up to the standard now. She can be registered. While the aptitude test is the exam, that one is organized by the RCSI, Royal College of Surgeons in Ireland. That one, you have to come into Ireland to do it, both the theory and the practical, the OSCE. So that one is done in Ireland. But when you have your decision letter, you can now start job hunting. Now, I actually have to put this because for jobs, Ireland mostly recruits through agencies. Some people have gotten jobs directly from hospitals, but I don't know whether it is still actually working now. Because that time when I was job hunting and I was sending mails to the hospitals, they were responding to me that they're recruiting through an agency, and they will tell you the agency that contacts so agency. So that is why I actually put this there. So after receiving it, you can start mailing those agencies. Some of them, if you mail them or you contact them without your IELTS and DL, they will tell you that you need to get your IELTS and have your DL most importantly, your decision letter. Without your DL, they will not want to take you because they want the jobs on ground to be for people who already have DL and can move and can come in as fast as possible. So I had to put this. I came in through an agency called Services, and the process is free. Any agency that will tell you bring money, they are scammers, please run. Any agency that is asking you for money, I'm saying it again, they are scammers, please run. There is no agency, no credible agency that will ask you for money. Though some agencies, they will be processing it for you, and they will be, once they help you to get a job, they'll be paying for the major things. Like this, my agency, they paid for the exam. The exam is 2,800 euros. They paid for the atypical working scheme. They were the ones that applied, 250 euros. They did that. Then they paid for the employer, through the employer, they applied for my critical skills work permit, 1,000 euros. They paid. They were the ones doing everything. The only thing I did was my processing, all those transcripts and everything. I was doing that myself. Then when I came in, not just me, all of us, when we came in, they refunded the 350 euros you paid initially to the NMBI for your registration process from Nigeria. They will refund it to you, and they will also refund your flight money after you have passed the exam. That is what they do. But there are some agencies that they won't pay it. They will ask you to be running it with your money. When you come in and pass the exams, they will now pay all the monies to you at once. They will pay you all the money. But those agencies that will not pay, that will ask you to be paying, they will still not ask you to pay them the money. You'll be the one paying the money directly. Like you want to register for the exam, you pay it directly. It's not as if they'll ask you to send the money to them, let them pay it for you. So please, let us be very careful in that regard. So now, after you have come into Ireland, you've gotten the job, and then you have processed your visa and you are in Ireland. Now you've written your exam, you have passed your exam. That is when the registration process now starts. Now, for the registration process, it's very easy. You still go back. Remember, you already have an account with the NMBI. So it's still the same account you continue to use. One thing is, once you create an account, they will give you, there's one number that they will give you, reference number or something. That number is actually your PIN. But you cannot call it a PIN yet until you pass the exam, because if they enter that PIN into the NMBI register, your name will not appear that you're a registered nurse until you pass the exam. So that is why we used to say Irish pinned nurse, because until until you pass the exam, that is when the number can start appearing on the register. So anybody that wants to verify you as a registered nurse in Ireland, what the person just needs to do is to go to the NMBI portal and just type in your PIN. Mine is 173110. Once they type in 173110, my name will appear. I'm registered, the division where I'm registered will appear. So in that way, they are verified that, okay, this person is an Irish registered nurse. So Once you pass the exam and you go back to the NMBI page, you answer some questions related to your IELTS, then you upload your IELTS certificate. Then you now pay. You pay 145 euros. That 145 euros is now your registration fee. When you pay the 145 euros, after some days, they will upload it on your status that, okay, payment has been received. Then after some days, you will see your certificate on your NMBI page. So your own is just to download it, and you're a registered nurse. You're an Irish trained nurse already. So after then, they will also send your annual retention certificate. Every year in Ireland, you must renew your registration. That one is 100 euros. 31st of December. When you talk about, okay, theoretically is 31st of December, but you can actually do it before 31st of December. Now, the annual retention process is going on now. For me now, I can renew, despite the fact that I came in May of this year, I can renew this thing from now till January of next year. They give the grace till January. So you pay 100 euros and you renew your certificate, and you continue to be a registered nurse in Ireland, Irish trained nurse. That being said, NGO, please move it forward. So now, NGO, please move it. Thank you. Now, let's move down memory lane small. When I watched Daniel Kelvin's video, he talked about some realities. I was just laughing when he was talking about it. So I just want to say some little things also. So NGO, please move it. Memory lane. When I was coming, I was excited. Oh, I'm leaving the country. I'm traveling, blah, blah, blah. On the flight, they serve food. I did not eat because I was excited and I was hungry. I said, they should not worry. They said, carry a bag. I said, don't worry. My tummy is full now because of excitement. By the time I got to the flight, they now serve this thing. I said, what is this one? I could not eat it. I came in through Amsterdam, so I boarded KLM. I said, which kind of food is this one? This thing is becoming reality. And I was really hungry, but I could not eat the food. I didn't like it. Now, NGO, move it. We now got to the hotel. That time, we had to stay 15 days in quarantine at the hotel. So 15 days, you will not see anybody. Nobody will see you. They'll just be dropping your food by the doormat. Okay, now, when I got there, it was evening time. So they said, oh, it's time for, is it dinner or no, supper? Because their own is breakfast. Their own lunch, they call it dinner. Then they now eat one food in between. They call it evening tea. Then the last food for the day is supper. So it was the last food for the day I met. They now brought the thing. It was now leaf and what was it? Tomato. I said, I mean, I've not eaten. I left Nigeria yesterday. I came in today. That was because I came in, it was a night flight. Since yesterday, I've been hungry. I could not eat the food on the flight. Now that I'm here now today, see the thing they gave me, leaf and what's it called? Tomato. I could not eat the food. Okay, we move on. NGO, please move it on. Now, by the time they now brought breakfast the next morning, making how many days? 2 days that I've been hungry. This is what they now served as breakfast. What is this one? What is that? And I've even forgotten the name of that bread. Then there's one that doesn't even have taste. That second bread does not have taste. Then yogurt and that small juice and milk and tea. All this tea that they used to put inside water, they call it a low fakunga. Is this what I'm going to eat for breakfast? I shall manage to drink the juice and the yogurt. I ate that thing that looks like bread. But for somebody who has been hungry, I wasn't satisfied. Then I now wrote them a note. When the thing continued for like 3 to 4 days, they kept on bringing leaf, kept on bringing different food I cannot eat. And when they drop the tray, there's always a paper there. This paper, they said, please leave your tray outside your room 1 hour after the food. And I said, how will I reach these people? And I wrote a note that, dear kitchen team, thank you for the wonderful meal. So I even pampered the meal for them to make them know that the meal is nice. So unfortunately, I cannot eat it. It's my first time experience, please. And now I was now asking for alternatives that if you can see the note I wrote, I said, if you have rice, jollof or fried rice, I did not know I'm deceived. I will say yam and egg or pasta on the menu list. I will appreciate that. If not, I will bear it. And I dropped the note on the tray when they came to pick it. Then NGO move it. The next day, they now gave me rice. See the rice that they now gave me. Where will this one reach in my body? Me that have been hungry for like 2 days. That soup, they call it curry soup. That soup doesn't have taste. They now cut and now pick the small chicken inside. The rice, when I ate it, it was as if I've not even eaten. Because even this rice, if you give it to maybe a 3-year-old boy or girl safe, it will not reach the child. And me that have been hungry. So I asked for rice. They gave me the rice, but this is what I got. The hunger continued. Now, NGO move it. We now manage. Oh, we finish quarantine. After quarantine like this, we got to the house. Me that I have garri in my bag. I came with ogbono. I came with dry momo. I came with dry fish. I just turned eba. I did ogbono. This was exactly how I did it. I sat down. I ate my thing. For the past 15 days, this is the first correct food that I was able to eat that time. Move it, NGO. Accommodation. Nurse Kevin was talking about it. Accommodation. This one says an Indian. This person says an Indian meal. Indian people, I'm sorry. It's just I don't really like it. I'm not used to not taking pepper. It's a very wonderful meal. Thank you very much. So, accommodation. Somebody was saying, when you are coming, don't come with your family yet. Come and test it.
But when well prepared, you enjoy it.
I went well prepared though, my brother. I went with my garri. Because I didn't even know something like this was going to come, but I just suspected. I suspected. When I was carrying it, my husband was saying, what are you doing? But I said, please, let me carry my thing. Let me carry my drag. Even at the airport, my load was excess. They were removing some things. I said, please don't remove that momo. Don't remove that garri. If you want to remove any other thing, please don't remove that momo. Don't remove that garri. Don't remove that fish. Because that thing has what it will do for me. So thank God I was able to carry those ones. Then we now got to the place. We were in the hotel when they were scouting for house. It's not so easy to get accommodation in Dublin, especially people in other counties it's easier. But for those of us that came into Dublin, the accommodation issue is very bad, even up till now. So the person trying to get accommodation for us eventually said it's through the agency, because the agency paid 1 month of accommodation rent, then we paid deposit. He was just communicating to us in the hotel, and we could not come out of the hotel to even see what he was talking about. Eventually, he got a 2-bedroom for 3 persons. We were 3 ladies. They got a 2-bedroom. So since that is what they got, we just have to go with it. Now, I was now sharing a room with someone. That is my bed you are seeing. That small collable bed. That is the bed that I got. The other person is using the other bed. So accommodation be like waiting. So though Ireland will not even give you the option of coming with your family, because as you're coming to Ireland, you can't come in with your family until after you have passed the exams and you have your critical skills work permit. That is when you can. So I even thank God for that one. Because even if I had to come in with my husband, is it this collable bed that we're going to be sleeping on? It's not going to even reach any. Even me, the bed was also comfortable for me. So that was the accommodation. Now move on, please. Induction was fun though. After passing the exam and all, we did induction. Everybody was happy. This was the BLS training. Though one thing about Ireland again is, even though you have some trainings from your country, but they'll still train you. Those trainings from Nigeria, they are very good because they will give you, they'll put you at an advantageous position to easily get a job. Because I remembered during the interview, they asked me to tell them 2 recent trainings that I had. But because it was COVID period, I had to tell them about PPE and then COVID-19. So you can tell them, if you have your training on BLS, ACLS, all those things, you can tell them, I just had an updated training on this by American Artists. It's really going to give you that edge to get job faster from Nigeria. And when you come in here, even if they train you again, I don't know, maybe some other countries used to do that, but for Ireland, they would train you. Even if you have it, they'll still train you. It will not be so new to you because it's something you've already known. So you just flow with the tide. So that is how it is. So this was the BLS class. We started adjusting. Please move on. So first day, when we finally resumed to the world, because my induction was like 3 weeks, we had 1 week of class training, class teachings and trainings. Then 2 weeks we were under supernumerary, that you'll be under somebody. So the first day we made a party. My CNN was celebrating a 62nd birthday. So it was party. I was like, this place is a better place. So though I could not eat the food, actually, I had issues with the food. Okay, please move. So I was talking about Ireland being a country of nature. Yes, it is. This is my hospital campus. They call it campus, the hospital compound, so to say. All these deers you're seeing, they're actually there. They move around. That's why I put natural wildlife. They are there, but you can't touch them or you can only snap them. In fact, when you start getting close, they start running away too. I'll be like, all these things we used to watch on natural wild, they'll be showing us that all these animals in the bush, they're actually there, and it beautifies the environment. They are living their lives. So I got closer to just take a snapshot, and I just put them, they look me in their snow mind, will be this one. So the next one, last, now God win. Here we are, resumption. Have you seen an Irish nurse lately? The last slide, NJO. Have you seen an Irish nurse lately? Yeah. Move on. Now, I want to thank you people in Irish. Goruma Agot. Goruma Agot. That is thank you in Irish. You people should reply me in your language. So,
Eshegon. Me, I'm replying in Yoruba language.
Welcome.
Thank
Eshegon.
you very much.
Is this Sonny Deswa in Hausa?
Thank you very much. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Goruma Agot. Goruma
The
Agot.
response, you know that we have a lot of Yoruba people here. Thank you very much.
Wado.
Thank you. Yeah, that's enough. It's time to take questions, man. For me, I mean, this presentation is can we all mute ourselves? All right, yeah, thank you so much, Bukola.
Wado.
Thank you, everyone. Bukola, thank you so much. That was a beautiful presentation. For me, I think it's a movie. You actually played Irish movie for us from nothing. Can we all mute ourselves, please? You actually played the Irish movie for us from a nursing perspective, particularly from a Nigerian nurse perspective. Can we all mute ourselves, please? Just mute yourself. There'll be room for us to ask questions. Take comments. Oh God. So Bukola, thank you so much. You actually mentioned quite a number of points, which anybody that is part of this presentation will actually say yes, they were able to grab one or two things. By the way, I need to highly appreciate the fact that you're able to pull all of this within this short time frame that we send you the notice. The presentation was really amazing. You got my attention from the beginning to the end. Wow, that was really amazing. So we are going to quickly move on to the question and answer section. If you have any question, please, can you just indicate by raising up your hand, and I'll give you the audience so that you can ask your question. But before we go to question, my own question is simply that Bukola, why are nurses not considering Ireland? Why do you think Nigerian nurses are not considering the fact that Nigerian nurses are still, some of them are failing IELTS, multiple times? Why are they not considering Ireland?
Okay, yeah, I am. Actually, this question is more of a personal question, because if you ask 1 million nurses, they will give you 1 million responses to this particular question. So for some people, I just want to kind of go into the minds of few people. Like when you ask some people, some of them will be like, okay, UK is a known destination, like everybody, UK. That's number one. Number two, a lot of people know many people, sorry about that, in the UK more than, in fact, when I was doing my process, I didn't know anyone in Ireland. So a lot of people know people in the UK. They have the kind of support system in the UK. When we came in, a lot of my colleagues were like, oh, my friend is in the UK. I have this person in the UK. So because a lot of people have migrated to the UK over the years. So it's so hard not to know one person that knows one person that is already in the UK. So it's kind of, so a lot of people just want to go to where they know people. That's another point. I've talked about 2 points now. Another point is the UK process, because you asked specifically about UK. I don't like to compare because I've not been in the UK. I've not worked in the UK as a nurse, so I can't really compare. But from what I know, the UK process is faster and it's much easier. And for an average Nigerian, we don't want anything that will give us so much stress. Plus the fact that what is going on in the country now is discouraging a lot of nurses. They want to leave as fast as possible. If there's a flight today that it's not a crime, or if you just join the flight, you land in maybe UK or US or any country of your choice without papers, a lot of people will just opt in. So what is going on in the country is frustrating to so many nurses. So they just want to leave at all costs. So if there's a route that is much faster, a lot of people prefer it. That's another point. Then plus the fact that this Ireland process is kind of, I don't want to use the word, I don't want to use a negative word, but let me just use the word challenging. It's very challenging. When I tell people my experience, they'll be like, instead of that, I'll abandon it and go to another country and try another country. So it's very challenging from the beginning of the process to the exams. I think I shared with you how the exams is. People used to fail the exams and go back to Nigeria. How will you feel? After you have left the country, you have packed all your things. Sometimes some people even probably get a loan. Then after coming, now say, I'm back, or God forbid, it will not be the portion of any of us in this group and all the nurses that we know. So it's kind of challenging. So a lot of people will say, I better go to a place I know that last, anyhow it is, I could get people who go teach me and I go pass. But Ireland will not even teach you. They will tell you, we are not recommending any training center. Don't be scared though. For those of us that want to, don't be scared. You will pass it. If I can pass it and some other nurses here can pass it, they don't recommend any training institution, any training center. And when you come, the hospital will not train you. But don't worry, there are nurses on ground here. People like me and some other people are on ground that they will take you up. That is one thing I appreciate Nigerian nurses, Irish nurses, Nigerian Irish nurses for. Once you come in, or once they know that you are coming in, there's a group. You join the group, they will take you up. In fact, there are some things that if I don't know it, I will push you to another person because the exams keep changing. When I wrote the exam, some things are different from those who wrote last month, those who are writing this month. So there are some things that if I don't know it, I will just quickly tell you, please, this person just did the exam. So in that way, we are trying to help ourselves so that as many Nigerians or Africans, because the group is not just for Nigerians, Africans are coming in, that we pass the exams and we stay. That is the idea for every African nurse in Ireland now, that as we are coming, if we can scale through to come into Ireland, you must pass this exam. That is the idea. So a lot of people, because when I tell people that people fail, they go back, like, no, I never see anybody will fail. It's rare to fail UK exam, but I used to tell them that is how Ireland is. So the standard has been like that, and they are not ready to lower it for any reason whatsoever. And I think it has helped them in so many ways because they sieve the kind of people who come into the country, and it has really helped them to like curb a lot of things, crime rates, redundancy, and the rest. So most Nigerians, an average Nigerian will not want to go through that, but some of us love challenges. There are some of us in this group, in our nursing schools rather, we love challenges. We love all those courses that will give you tough time. Is what you really want. This course, they know they pass them, I go pass them. You know, that kind of a thing. So that is how some of us are. We really love it. And some of us could not even believe that we can do it. Some things you don't believe you can do it until you attempt it. That is when you know that, oh, I can actually do this thing. So for that, some people may not want to attempt Ireland. Then another point is some people don't actually know a lot of things about Ireland. just as you and I discussed some days earlier, some people see it as a second choice. But when you now enter into it, you now know that it's not actually a second choice. Even some of the countries that people rush to go, they actually even pay more, and their economy is even more robust. And to train your family, to like nurture your children, is even more better. Free education. Do you know, some days back, I was discussing with a male colleague, and he was telling me that this country, the way they wire this country, if you want to have 10 children, you can have 10 children. I say, what do you mean? Say, when education is free, then they'll be giving you child support, 140 euros for each child every month. Now, he said for a person like me, that was how he said it. That 140 euros, I would rather not touch it. I'll be saving it up for the child because I'm working. So if you have children, they're paying you 140 euros per child in a month. Even if you are not an Irish, so far you bring your children in or you give it to your children, you're entitled to for this child support. Now, you are collecting 140 euros per child a month. You are keeping it, you are saving it up until the child becomes 18 years. Do you know how much you would have saved up? With that money, you can use it to send your children to the university. Now, remember that that money you have saved up will train your children through university, and you will still have more money left. That money, now give it to the child. Now use it to start up your life. Have you not break the chain of poverty? He now said, so now tell me, if you want to have 10 children, how won't you have 10 children? Because they just make it so easy. So those are the things that a lot of people don't know. When he said that, and I said, wisdom. And I just kept it in my left hand. In Yoruba, they say, that put it in your left hand so that you not use it to eat. You not use it to chop and forget it. So that one I already kept it in my hand. It's true. If you are just getting this, just the same, it's just like you're already having savings for your children even before they grow up, and you're not even paying school fees. So those things people don't know. A lot of people don't know. But I don't know what is obtainable in other countries if they have something like this or they have something close. So if you have information in a way to empower you to want to say, okay, let me give it a try. So I think I've mentioned like 4 or 5 points why some Nigerian nurses are not trying Ireland. So that's what I think, actually. But maybe if we do the survey, NGO, you can actually do the survey and to find out the actual reasons. So thank you.
Yeah, that was well detailed. Thank you so much. Okay, Tobechuki, can you unmute yourself and ask your question?
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you very much for your talk this night.
Yeah.
Please, my first question is concerning BSc. Do they do they do anything concerning maybe regarding BSc, that you came with BSc nursing, that you came with your registered nursing first? Do they do anything concerning those, as in the two aspects? Then
Okay.
my
Okay.
should I ask all the questions? If I ask one, I wait.
Yeah, ask all. You said,
right.
do they regard BSc nursing? That okay, that's number one question. Okay.
Then you have been pertaining the money, you have been saying 100 euros. This, I just want you to bring it down a little to Nigerian currency, what the money is like.
Okay. Okay.
Then another thing, did they use CBT? You understand? Did they require CBT or just your OET or IELTS?
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so thank you, my sister. Now let me pick it from the first one, whether they regard RN or your BSc. Actually, when I was coming in, I didn't even know that they take RNs. I was thinking it's purely graduate nurses until I came in and I saw some people who are actually from School of Nursing only, like our diploma colleagues. But for those people, most of them, they also have other specialties. Like some of them are registered orthopedic nurses, some of them are also registered midwives. But that is not to say that they don't take people who are just registered nurses. So they still do. But where your BSc comes into play, or where it will help you, is when you want to further your education, you don't have to do BSc here again. You apply, if you have it in mind to further your education, you can apply for your master's directly. But for those who come in with their registered RN certificate, if they intend to further their education, they will need to start with BSc here. So I think that is the advantage of BSc has. So that is it. Now for the second question. Sorry, what's the second question again? The euros, I'm just talking about euros, sorry. I don't know, I think the exchange rate now is about, is it 655, 660? Mathematicians, please help us. I just gave an average estimate. You know, I said earlier that your pay actually depends on your years of experience and verifiable years of experience. So I just use 1.5 as an average. Some people are actually earning way more than that. Like that nurse I told you came in with 17 years of experience. Her house rent, she's paying 1,400 euros for a one-bedroom apartment, but she can actually afford it because her pay is like ×2 of my own. But me, I cannot afford it because it's going to be too much for me. She's a senior nurse. Even from Nigeria, she's a senior nurse to me. So when I talk about the money, I just gave 1.5 as an estimate. So let's just use 1.5 because I want to believe that there's no nurse that will be coming in that will get less than 1.5 in 2 weeks. But even if you get less than 1.5, let's say around 1.4, because I'm thinking many of us have like 4-5 years of experience, 6 years and above, like that. So if you have around 4, 5, 6, 7 years of experience, I just give an average estimate. Some people are getting up to 1.8, some 1.9, some 2,000, some 2,000 plus within 2 weeks. So, but I just wanted to bring it to a level where everybody will be able to relate. So that's why I use that 1.5. I just use it as a benchmark. So for those of us that have calculators close by, let's just say, let's use 650, though it's around 655, 60, but if we use 650 multiplied by 1.5 for 2 weeks, that is what you are getting for 2 weeks. Now, if you want to get that, you can multiply by 2. So that is an estimate for a month. Now, there are some months, in some months you can get paid 3 times. Like me now, I know those months and I have it in my head because those are the months I'm always looking forward to, because you know some months are always like 5 weeks. So you can get paid the first Thursday of that month, the third Thursday of that month, and the last Thursday of that. So some months you actually get paid 3 times, but you will not get paid less than 2 times in a month. So if you multiply 1.5 times 660, NGO, help us now, you're a mathematician. Help us.
75. 975,000.
Okay, so multiply it by 2 because you are going to pay 2 times in a month.
She asked another question.
Okay, so what's the third question?
CBT. Did they require CBT?
1.95.
So that is your average salary in a month. So for those who want it in naira, that is the average in a month. You can it might be more, but if it's going to be less, it's going to be a little less because many of us have years of experience already. So then the last one is CBT. The Ireland process is very, very different from the UK process. UK, you do CBT in Nigeria. After your IELTS, you do CBT. But Ireland, you are doing the 2 here in Ireland, but they don't even call their CBT. They don't call it CBT, they call it theory. And the reason why they call it theory is because on that day of the CBT, let me put it that way, you are going to write down first the first 20 minutes before you start doing ABC on the system, 150 questions for 3 hours. You will first write down. They will give you some vital signs scores. You're going to calculate the EWS, they call it EWS score. You're going to escalate it. Sometimes you are going to plot it on the chart. So that one, you have to use your pencil to write it down. Then after then, they will give you 3 medications. You're going to calculate, you're going to write it down. So you're going to calculate 3 medication dosages. Then the same 3 medications, you're going to pick out medication errors, 3 medication errors. So those ones, you're going to write it down. They will give you 20 minutes to do that. After you have done that in 20 minutes, they'll collect the sheets, your answer sheets, they'll collect it from you. That is when you now face the system and start ABC. You start clicking ABC. So that is why they don't call it CBT per se, they call it theory. Now, that one is done on a Saturday. That very day, you will get the results of that theory. If you pass the theory, that is when they will tell you that come back on Sunday for the practical. I believe we all pass, but some people do fail it. So that is why they always ensure that you get on that day, you get your results. But but they give 2 attempts for each. For the theory, for anyone who fails the first attempt, they will give you an opportunity again to do it a second time. They will give you a date, maybe 2 weeks or 3 weeks later. You do it again the second time. So it is after the second attempt, if the person still does not pass the theory, the person cannot even attempt OSCE at all. So that is how the exam is. But if the person scaled through the theory, they will now schedule you for the OSCE. So that is how it is. I don't know if I answered your question.
Yes, I understand. Thank you very much. God bless.
Amen. Yeah.
Abdul Samuel, can you ask your question, please?
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, my brother.
Good evening. Thank you so much for the presentation. My name is Samuel. She had already asked one aspect of my question. The other aspect is that I'm an RN, registered nurse with a diploma. I
Okay.
want you to talk about how is doing BSc top-up nursing in Ireland and then to become an Irish nurse, because I've applied to University of Limerick, so I had to defer my admission for September next year.
Okay.
So they gave me admission actually. So I'm working towards September. So I don't know, how is the BSc top-up nursing? You still pass through all this process, I think. So can you just say something about it?
Okay.
Please?
Thank you very much. So now you have applied to University of Limerick and they have given you the admission. Congratulations, my brother. The thing is, when you are coming in with a student visa. I can't remember, stamp 2. You're not coming in with a stamp 1 visa. You're coming in with a stamp 2 visa. So when you're coming in as a student. Are you doing your BSc in nursing here?
Yes.
Very good. Okay, so you're coming in with a stamp 2 visa. With that stamp 2 visa, you can do 20 hours a week as a student. But when the school is on summer break, you can work full time, but you can't work as a nurse because you are not registered as a nurse yet. But because you are coming in to do your BSc, as you are completing your BSc education, you become an Irish nurse because you are passing through the education system of the Irish education system for nurses. So you are coming out as an Irish nurse. So you don't need to go through all this process again. You become you don't need to go through all this process again. But the only thing is, as you are schooling as a student nurse, you can be working as a healthcare assistant. There's a course they do. You can do that course online. If there is time for you, you can be working as a healthcare assistant. Then during your placement, because they will give you placements, you will go to hospitals for clinicals and all, you start familiarizing yourself with how the Irish healthcare system is. And during those placements, I think they pay students money, like during clinical placement. So you can still be getting some monies from there. So, but the truth is, as you're coming out as an Irish nurse because you're going to write this exam, this RCSI that nurses are coming to write. You're going to write it before they give you your BSc. So you don't need to go through this again. Yeah. This RCSI, you will do the same thing. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okoli Modesta, your question, please.
Hello, good evening all.
Good evening.
Please, thank you very much for your contribution. Please, my question is, I was thought of asking, is there any material, is there any lessons, or how do they do to update nurses so that they will be able to pass the exam better? Through your explanation, I have gotten the answer because you said that actually they did not have that. Currently, you are making a kind of an arrangement so that if any comes in, if there is any way that you can help, that you do are planning for that. Thank you.
Okay, so you're talking about the preparation of the exam. As I said earlier, Even on their website, they will tell you that they don't approve any training. Just go to the website and read. But the truth is, the website has a lot of information, but to appropriate it is the issue. So there are groups of nurses. They just came together, just like tutorials, the way we do in School of Nursing, that students will just gather ourselves and be teaching ourselves. That is how it is. But it has helped a lot of people to pass the exam because somebody like me went through it and it helped me to pass the exam. So that is what we do to help ourselves because there is no specific training.
Thank you very much.
SGH1, ask your question, please. Abdulaziz Maruf, do you have a question?
I have a question.
Yeah, we were not hearing you. That was why we moved on to the next.
Oh, sorry. Oh, I'm so sorry. Please, I am due to network issues. I didn't get the IELTS band score explanation. And also, my second question goes as thus. Concerning family, now, if one has passed the exam and the person's family is to join the person to in Ireland. Now, if, for example, there are kids and husband, are they going to pay for the flights also, like the agent? Will they pay also for it, or is the nurse that is making the arrangement for that? Those are my questions.
Okay, so you're talking about bringing your family that are they going to pay? The truth is, when you come in, you pass your exams and you finally settle, you're already earning. So you are the one that will take care of everything that has to do with your family, not the agency. What the agency is helping you to do is to come in, pass your exams, and then make sure you are settled. And by the time your family is coming in, you already have the money to bring them in comfortably. Because it's after you have your critical skills work permit, you can now even apply for your family. And before you get your critical skills work permit, you'll be talking about maybe 3 months or 4 months in. Now, 3 months or 4 months in, you already pass exam, you're already earning every 2 weeks. So you already have money. So the agency doesn't have any reason to help you bring your family again because they believe by then you have the money to bring, even if you want to bring the whole village, you have the money to bring them. So theirs is just to help you first. Then you will now pull your family. That is the idea.
Okay. Then the first question,
Yeah.
the IELTS score. Sorry, I didn't get that due to
Okay, so
network.
for the IELTS, 6.5 in any one and 7 in the rest. At least 7 in the rest. If you have 6.5 in any of the band areas, fine. But you must have at least 7 in the others. Let's assume you have 6.5, let's say in speaking. For the other 3, you must have at least 7. That is their own.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Amioko Iwen, can you ask a question now?
Good evening, Bukola. Thank you. My question is, don't they use this English proficiency from your school of study to indicate that you studied English?
Okay, so the only two tests they recognize is IELTS and OET. They don't recognize any other English tests, just the IELTS or the OET. For now, all these things are policies. Policies can change. So, but as of today, it's only IELTS and OET. Yeah. I don't know if I've answered your question.
You have answered my question. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, Bukola, there's nobody raising their hands, but there are some questions in the chat box.
Okay.
Number one, the priority, like a lot of people have actually asked, can they get the slides? For those that are asking for the slides, Bukola is going to edit the slides, and once she's done, she will send it over to me, and we'll share it to everyone on the Telegram group. I hope that response answered the question. Somebody asked, how do we get trusted agencies?
Okay, so for the agencies, that's why I gave you mine. I can speak for my agency, which is Services. But there are some other agencies too, like there's KCR, Kate Cow some recruitment or something. And then there's other one CPL. But these are the major agencies are Services, KCR, I think that's CPL. But the only thing I'm just trying to let you know is if you have your DL now, you just shut up NGO, shut up Abiodun, and just leave the how you will reach the agency, just leave that, just chat him up, then leave the rest of the process. You will get a trusted agency. But if you want to scout for agency, any agency that is asking you to bring money is not a credible agency. It's actually a scam. So please run away. Any agency at all that will ask you to bring money, even if they are not going to pay for the process, if they are telling you that when you come in and pass the exam, that is when they'll pay you all the monies, fine. But they won't ask you to bring the money to pay for you. You'll be the one doing the payment yourself. So that's the only thing I can say about agencies. I don't know if I answered your question.
Yeah, you did. You did.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Somebody asked, how can a nurse move from the UK to Ireland?
Okay, I don't really know UK's process to Ireland because I came in from Nigeria. That's the truth. I don't really know how the process is. But if you want to know how the process, maybe you should chat up NGO. Then if you chat him up, we can actually ask some people or ask the agency. So whatever response we get, then it can get back to you. But I really don't know the process for UK to Ireland.
Yeah. Before you chat me up for that, I also do not know the process from UK to Ireland. For that, we might need to make further inquiries.
Yeah.
Somebody asked that, can you add me to the Telegram group? I'm going to send the Telegram group to the chat. But if I don't send it here to the chat, just go to Twitter or Instagram. We have our website there. Go to the website. You are going to see the Telegram link there. So you can join the Telegram group. So we're going to share the replay of this video there. So you can always watch the replay as well. So somebody say, good evening. Please, how can somebody who intend to study nursing go about it? Bukola, you don't need to answer this question. I don't think it's a complete question. So let's just move on to the next question. Somebody said, what is their working hours like? Is it 12-hour shift like UK?
Okay, so for the working hours, it's for my contract it's 39 hours, and this is how they do it. It depends on the hospital, but for my place, for my ward, what they do is the first week you work 3 days and have 4 days off. 3 long days. Let me use the word long days because they do long shifts. 7:45 to 8:15 if it is a long day, and if it is night, 7:45 to 7:45 p.m. to 8:15 the next morning. So if it is 39 hours, the first week you work 3 days, 4 days off. The second week, same thing. The third week, the same thing. Then the fourth week, you work 4 days and have 3 days off. But there are some wards, there are some units who do half day. They can give you 8 to 2 on a particular day, then maybe give you 2 to 8 on another day. So it depends on the units and it depends on your nurse manager. But it is 39 hours a week.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So somebody say, hello, sir, please, can we have a WhatsApp group for people interested to go to Ireland? Okay, so this is it. We have created a group for those that are interested in going to the UK. And our plan was just to create one group. And we created a group, and now the group is 5. Yesterday, I checked the 50 group, and it's filled up. So we created 1 to 5 groups for those going to the island, for UK, sorry. So if we create another WhatsApp group again for Ireland, we'll also create another group for Dubai. We'll create another group for US. We can't continue to create multiple groups. So that was why we resorted into Telegram. So everybody interested in going to all of these countries that we have actually had Zoom meetings on, join the Telegram group. That way we can accommodate thousands of people, and then we can all share information. So that answers that question. So somebody say, can we also have the recording pasted on the WhatsApp group, and the links and breakdowns on how to apply attached. Yes. So Bukola, please, I'm craving your indulgence. If you can send me some of the links that you have shared in the slide, particularly those websites that you mentioned, your agency website, and every other document or links that you think I can share with those that join this class. Once you share them with me, I'm going to share it on the Telegram group.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, so every valuable link will be shared on the WhatsApp group. So somebody asked, what is the minimum years of experience needed for Ireland?
Okay, so previously it was 5 years. Just I think this year, because I told you the demand for nurses is very high. So now they have decided to remove a minimum level of years of experience. They don't need minimum level of years of experience again. So far, you are registered as a nurse. Come. That is what they want now. So, but you know that the only thing about that is just your pay. That's the only thing. It might reduce your pay in a way because you don't have years of experience, but they still want you. So far, you're a registered nurse. So they don't have any minimum level as of today. The policy has changed. You know, that's why I talked about policies. Policies changed. Policies change rather. Like some things I've said now, by tomorrow or next month, some of them might change. So, but as of today and this moment, they are not requiring any minimum years of experience again. So I think I've answered that.
Yeah. So someone said, do you have to have a special certificate before you can process your relocation to Ireland? Let me answer that question. You don't need special certificate. As far as you are a nurse and you're interested in migrating, you follow the due process and you're good to go. Somebody also asked, does internship and NYC work classify as experience? I was trained in India, but got registered as a registered nurse in Nigeria. So does NYC and internship class as a nursing experience?
Okay. For that, if you can send a form, because during your internship and during your NYC, you're actually doing clinicals. For me, I added it to my years of experience because I can't waste those periods. I was actually in a clinical setting. I was in the hospital. So to me, I counted it as my years of experience. So the only thing is, if you can send that form, there's a form you will send to wherever you have worked over 6 months. If you can send it to them and they can fill it for you and verify that truly you have worked there, you can add it to your years of experience.
Thank you. So somebody said, Bukola, can we have your contact?
NGO, answer the question.
Yeah, I don't think they need your contact. What they need is actually your presentations slide. I think that's one of the key things. So if you're able to give us the presentation slide, the edited copy is fine, and also any links, and then the video replay will be available. So all questions have been answered. But if you have any special question, just ask now so that she can answer. But needing a contact, maybe talk to me directly if it's that curious, and then we'll see how we work around that. Yeah, so somebody said I'm having some issues. No. Somebody said, good evening, please. Somebody who intends to study nursing, how do they go about it, please? We were talking on how to migrate to Ireland, not how to study nursing. Okay, so Modesta, do you still have questions? You're raising your hand. You can unmute yourself and ask your question. Yeah, somebody is still asking about Telegram. Just go to Instagram or Twitter. Search for NGO Nurses. NGO, let me type it on the group. NGO Nurses on Instagram or Twitter. We have all the links. We have all the links. Sorry, Sylvester, just hold that up a minute. We have all the links to our Telegram group there. Join the Telegram group there. So, Sylvester, you can proceed now to your question.
Yeah. Good evening. Thank you, Sister Bukola. We are so grateful for that wonderful presentation. Please, I I joined the presentation very late, and I don't know whether she has mentioned it earlier. I wish to know if an OET is acceptable in lieu of IELTS. Thank you.
Yes, it is.
Okay,
And
and
it's in one of the slides where I shared that of OET. I think BM C plus in any one of the band areas and B in the others. OET is acceptable.
Okay, so yeah,
all
thank
right,
you very much for that,
thank
Bukola.
you.
Thank you for highlighting that point. So, Sylvester, I guess she responded to your question. So,
I'm fine.
yeah,
I'm fine.
yeah, yeah, that's fine. So, Bukola, somebody is saying guidance that so if they are going to it's like somebody, I think what she's saying is she's interested in coming to Ireland today, and she wants to start the process, and she appreciates this presentation, but she's feeling as if she needs somebody to guide her. Before this class, Bukola, we had the presentation for Dubai, those that are interested in going to Dubai. And we told the person that actually made that presentation, he helps people to migrate to Dubai. So people that are interested will contact him and he's going to guide them through all the processes, but it's not for free. I'm sure this process to go to Ireland is something that people can do on their own once they have the necessary information, which you have actually said and highlighted in this presentation. But somebody said they want hand guidance, that you are going to hold their hand and guide them, yeah, from day one to the day that they will land in Ireland. What's your comment on that?
Okay, so for that, let me just give me some time to process that, and then I'll get back to NGO, because it's actually NGO that is making me do this. I don't do this. I'm always doing my own thing in my little corner. So NGO just grabbed me and said, do this for me. So it's actually my first time of coming to a social media space to actually do this. So, and I have a husband too. So let me see how it goes. Let me speak with my husband, then I'll let NGO know
All right,
it.
thank you
Yeah.
so much, Bukola, for granting our
Yeah.
special invitation. And you can see obviously that we had about 82 participants. That was the highest number we had here. It shows that a lot of people actually have interest in going to the island. And you have been able to demystify some of the misconceptions. And you have also been able to state the facts. I so much love your presentation. Telling us about the tax system, the structure, the history of Ireland. They really shape perception about Ireland, which I believe plenty people that joined this class benefited from that. So I look forward to your response on the guidance aspect. But
Okay.
even though you are not guiding us, or you are not guiding those that are migrating from beginning to start, I can tell you something for fact. People that hear this presentation can say one or two things about Highland. If they can't even say anything, they know for fact that one, Island passport will make you go to 187 countries for free. Or
Sorry,
Island.
NGO. Sorry for cutting you short. Thank you for mentioning that point. Please, it's not as if I want to bust your head, though. I just want to chip it in again that, do you know that you just require 5 years of staying here to get that passport, to get the Irish passport. It's just 5 years. Once you're coming in, for the first 2 years, you're on stamp one. After your first 2 years, you get a stamp four. Then your stamp four gives you access to live and work in Ireland without any work permit. You can establish your business. You can get a mortgage. If you want to buy a house after 2 years, you can do that. Then you just require 3 more years to add to your first 2 years with your stamp four. You're already on stamp four. You can apply for citizenship by naturalization. So in 5 years of your entry into Ireland, you are qualified to have that powerful passport. Sorry, I just want to bust your head more. And
Yeah, yeah, boss. I don't know. See what you are doing now is the question that somebody asked. How can people in the UK come to Ireland? I think that's the next presentation now. We don't need to talk about moving from Nigeria, because even we in the UK, we are considering Ireland now, honestly. So we need to do a presentation on
yeah.
UK, not Nigeria to Ireland now. UK to Ireland.
The truth
UK
is,
to Ireland.
I'm so happy. In fact, if I can give everyone a big hug, maybe I should put on my video and just give a big hug to everyone who joined in. Can you? Oh, No. How can I?
So,
How can
yeah,
I just?
we can see you. We can see you. Let me just, yeah. We're seeing you.
A
We're
big
seeing
hug for everyone. Come to Dublin. Come to Ireland, not just Dublin. Come to Ireland. Come to Ireland, not just Dublin. I want to give everyone a big hug. In fact, I didn't know that the turnout is going to be like this. I just wanted to just do it, just a little something, maybe for few people who be interested. But I'm so happy a lot of nurses are interested in coming to Ireland, because the truth is we are still few, but we want nurses to come. Why are you going to places that are overcrowded when there are rooms, plenty rooms? In my father's house, there are many mansions. There are, opportunities abound in Ireland. And though there are some things that are actually flaws of the system, like housing, I mentioned earlier, I won't try to sweep anything under the carpet for you just to make you
switch
come.
talk it, yeah.
Yeah, talk you. Thank you. The truth is, the housing issue is a big issue. For me to get an accommodation was quite hectic. But the truth is, if you are not in Dublin, this issue is majorly for those of us if you are not in Dublin, if you are in other counties like Longford, Waterford, it's not so serious. I have a friend, my friend that we came in together. We wrote the exam the same one. She's in Waterford. She has her own accommodation too now. We came in June and May. We wrote our exams June of this year. She's staying in a 2-bedroom apartment, paying 800 euros. And I am paying 1,100 euros in a 1-bedroom in Dublin. So though there's housing issue, but you can actually decide to stay outside of Dublin and be working within Dublin. Once you can drive, you can get your car. You don't need to stay 1 year before you get your car. If you start working and you have your money, go and get a car. If you have your international, your driver's license from Nigeria, please hold it tight and bring it here, because that is what will help you to still be able to drive pending the time you get their own driver's license. So if you want to stay, there's somebody paying 1,000 euros for a 4-bedroom in Longford, 1 hour drive to Dublin, and we're working in the same place. So you can actually decide not to stay within Dublin, even if you are working within Dublin. So far you can drive, you have your car. You can be driving down 1 hour, is a sweet drive, and come down, be paying less in those counties and still be saving up your money. So housing is, so I just decided, I'm just telling you that so that you can know that housing is an issue. And the agency will tell you when you are coming in that there's housing wahala, but it's majorly for those of us in Dublin. So that's the thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank
So
you, sir. Yeah.
my big hug for everybody.
Yeah, we're hugging you big time, like deep in our hearts, we're hugging you virtually. Thank you so much. I just want to highlight the driver license aspect. Please, if you are under the sound of our voice, and you're in Nigeria or you're in the UK, yeah, please go work on your driver's license. Go and get your driver's license. I need to emphasize that. So somebody also asked that we could pay for your guidance, please. If you're going to guide them. But wait, don't comment on that. Just hold that thought. More emphasis on this. It's not about the money, really. It's about the fact that what is the goal here? The goal, like I said in the beginning of the presentation, is to see how migrate easily, effortlessly from Nigeria to any country of their choice. People are doing it. Yours should not be different. And it should not be difficult. There's a perception that this thing is hard. The process is difficult, it's stressful. Yeah, it might be. I mean, there's nothing that comes easy really in life. Even being a nurse in Nigeria, for you to actually become a nurse in Nigeria is not easy.
Yeah.
So if you want to relocate to be a nurse in another country, don't expect it to come on your laps. You don't sit down and it fall on your laps. You need to take some conscious effort. So, but is it difficult? Yeah, it is. Well, can you do it? Yes, you can. Yes,
You can.
and you can do it in a way that if you are conscious of it, you will actually go through it. And one of the way you can actually do it easily is by information, and that is what this meeting is all about, providing the
NGO, the truth is, those the people asking for guidance, I feel their pain, because I know how frustrated I was. There was nobody. That's the plain truth. I was really very frustrated. I didn't get anyone until when I got my DL, and the agency, it was even through the agency, they created a Facebook group for those of us going through the agency. That was where I started spotting out some Nigerians, and through one of them, I got to know that, oh, there's a group that people are actually gathering themselves every night, 9 o'clock Nigerian time. They will start teaching themselves the way we do in School of Nursing. And that was how I was able to pass the exams by the grace of God, because I actually joined one nurse. Some people tell how to make money out of you, because there's a nurse that is always saying, I can teach you. She's an Irish nurse, so she's a Nigerian. I can teach you. I joined the group. I was paying. I didn't see the head and tail of the whole thing. After some time, I had to stop paying. But this group, they didn't collect a dime. The only thing is have your data, join up. They will share all the 14 stations of the OSCE, because Islands OSCE is 14. They will share it to everyone. You must present though. The same way we are doing it like this, everybody will join in. If you are to present on dress, you have to go and get the materials, or you have to improvise. And in that way, people will make jest of you, they'll correct you, they'll criticize you, but you are going in strong for the exam. And most people pass the exams. We Africans were proud of ourselves. Usually the success rate is very, very high. By tomorrow, you start seeing, congratulations, this person passed, that person passed. And for those who have second attempt, that is the time people will pick you up. I have people who didn't pass it the first time. Some of them had references in 4 stations, 5 stations, 6 stations. Personally, I was contacting them because some of them were depressed. There was even somebody that was contemplating suicide. I've left Nigeria. I cannot go back. What is going to happen? I was calling her. Somebody, call this person. No, she might commit suicide though. I had to call her and encourage her. And she passed it. She had, I think, 5 references out of 14. She passed 9. But she went in and she did the 5 stations again and she made it. So we are here to help ourselves. It's not just about the money, but also, just as I said, let me just consult my husband and also discuss with NGO, then we'll fashion something. Yeah.
It's all right. A lot of people have actually asked some questions,
okay,
but we have actually run out of time. We already spent about close to 2 hours now in this presentation. So if you have any question, watch the replay. If you watch the replay, your questions should be asked. If your questions are not asked, ask me directly or ask in the Telegram group. And I'm sure a lot of people will be able to answer it.
I think I'm seeing someone who asked the question twice, talking about family. She's saying not coming with one's family. I don't know if you can see that question.
Yeah, I actually saw it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, for Ireland, you can't come in with your family immediately. And the reason is because as you are coming in, let me just answer the question, the last question.
And then from there, we end the class.
So the reason is because as you are coming in, I told you in a way they kind of try to streamline the kind of people they bring into the country. They want to make sure that they maintain their clean sheet. The truth is, when you are coming in with a stamp 1 visa that is just for 3 months. So within that 3 months, they expect you to pass your exams. Then you go to the immigration and then renew your stamp, and they will extend it. They're supposed to extend it by 2 years. But if you don't have your critical skills work permit yet, they will just give you another 3 months. Then by then your employer would have applied and you have but once you have your critical skills work permit, you can now apply for your family. When you apply for your family, before they come in, you're already prepared. Though it's a process too, because on their websites, critical skills work permit holders, they are supposed to be able to bring their families immediately, but because the embassy also is overwhelmed, so it might take like 6 months or even some people up to a year. But by the time your family is coming in, you already have all the things set for them. So they will be coming in soft landing. So if you want to bring your family immediately, for Ireland, it's not possible. You can only come and prepare the ground for them, then you bring them over. So I think I've answered the question.
Yeah, you have. And that will be the end of the class.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Bukola. I sincerely appreciate it. And everybody that participated, I appreciate it. We'll talk behind the scene.
All right.
Got you. So thank you all for joining today. And that'll be the end of the class. Take care. Bye.
Bye. Yeah, bye.